Hello, welcome to our channel, The Romantic Dimension. Today, a lot of people want to define marriage, and I understand as a human being living in this world and knowing how sometimes in our societies, women are not fairly treated in some communities, and especially double standards when it comes to some, rules. It means that when a woman does something, it's a big deal. When a man does the same thing, it's not a big deal. But we cannot fight with the society. We can only live our individual lives in a way that can benefit us in the long run. However, there are some young people today and some people who are disinterested with the idea of marriage, and they want to make everybody hear them. For me, I don't want to talk about my idea, like my idea should be the standard for everyone. The problem that we meet in society as human beings is when somebody wants to impose the ideas on us, which is not idea that can, include everyone. For example, man is not the inventor of marriage. God is. So when we see problems in marriages, instead of attacking the marriage, we should actually look at the problems that happen and the problem that make marriages don't work. So I think it is wrong for a few young people who might have bad experiences to come here and tell us now they are defining marriage. And if what you've already decided that is good for you is okay, then I don't think you need to come and make noise about it. If let's say you decide that you don't want to be married, you don't want children, it is okay. You can just shut up and, keep it up. But for us and for millions and billions of people, marriage is a deal. All over the world. It's not for Africans, it's not for white people, it's not for Asian. Everybody wants to get married. However, what we all agree with, and I agree with, that everybody wants to get married in a place with people that value them. Whereby it is not like the women are given rules which are impossible to keep. Let me give you an example. In the old system, women in society were, your husband at a certain age, they get married and then you cannot say anything about it. That's unfair. But let me tell you something that my mother told me. That in their time, no man would just wake up and go get married. That is in our society and in our tribe. First of all, he must have to convince his parents and his wife why he wants to get married. And then the first wife will have to be involved in choosing the woman that she was going to share the husband with. So for me, even though I don't accept that, currently is still, but at least the woman here was respected. So that arrangement of polygamy was not a scandal. It was an arranged thing between the wife and the husband, the family, and that woman who has to come. Another thing that happened in my tribe is that the woman who will come to be a second wife had to respect the first wife. The first wife had privileges. So she could not talk down to the first wife. She could not disrespect the first wife and all that. So you see, there was status. It is a different ballgame altogether, where the man just wake up and you think you have your husband, but he has a mistress somewhere. So these things were never acceptable in our society. I don't know how other society did it. Secondly, what I know is that before somebody married a second wife, is that they had to build a house for that woman. There was no place whereby this woman will be coming to share your house as the first wife. So what I'm saying is that the old people, the old system, while those things looked primitive, but for me, I feel like there was kind of order. You are given time, because if you know that your husband is going to marry another wife, then, it's not like you're not going to be jealous. No. But it's going to prepare you emotionally. You're going to try to, accept it. You are given time to accept it. You are given an opportunity to choose who is that woman that you're coming to share the husband with. And that woman was not going to be equal with you. That woman was coming beneath you. You see? But that is not what is happening today. People just wake up and get married to some other women. And then they don't care how the children feel. They don't care about. So these are scandals that happens in families. Some people, their problem is not having other wives or cheating. No. It is that they are not loving people. So if you see that the marriages around you as a young woman or as a young person who is not married and you're getting scared, the truth is you need to look for ways by which you and your fiancé can make sure that you are not going to do those bad things that other people are doing to each other. So that's what you learn. I just said here that fools are those who learn from their mistakes. Because by the time you are learning that you made a mistake, damage is already done. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes so that you don't repeat what your father did, you don't repeat your friends did, you don't repeat what these people that we see the media do. You try to learn why a marriage is breaking. But to come here and tell us marriage is bad, I don't want to be single, no, you are lying. The reason why you are lying, you are a sexual being. So even though you say you don't want to get married, you are sleeping with everybody. And what kind of a world are you trying to create when you tell us we don't want to get married? We don't want to have children. We just want to be enjoying sex. Nobody says you cannot enjoy sex without children, but that is not the gospel because it's not a reality for everyone. The other day I was watching a woman who is 59 years old on the media. For her to come or the media and speak about her life, I think she wants to get somebody to understand some things about life. This woman is a millionaire and she says that she never had children and she wished she had children because she never got settled down to have children. But now she's 59, she's realizing that, she doesn't have a family. So she's trying to get the best of life, what she can, because she said a friend of hers told her that you can be happy without children. But she missed out because at 59, unless maybe she gets somebody, they adopt maybe, older children, I don't know, but that time has already passed. So what am I driving at here? The truth is, you could say all what you want, but you're going to grow old. And when you're going to grow old, you're going to be alone. So when God gave us the idea of marriage, God is very intentional in the sense that when you are married, you protect each other with love. So the reason why some of these young people, they fear marriage is because of the bad things that happen in marriages, the cruelty, the infidelity. It's the things that they see their friends go through or maybe their parents have gone through and so they feel like marriage is not for them. It's a lie. It's not about marriage. It's about the things that people do to each other. The problem is never marriage. The problem that we have in marriage is people mistreating each other, people failing to love each other. So let's say that nobody's getting married and nobody's having children. That is selfish. Because when you live in a country, even in a community, there are times that you need people to defend your community. When a country is going to war, you need people to go to that war. What contribution are you making in the society? So when we talk about having children, it's not just personal, it's also communal. When people are going to war, what contribution did you make? Another thing is that labor. Do you know why these Western countries are looking for labor everywhere? That's why Africans are flocking in those countries. It's because there is a low birth rate in those countries. So they still look for labor. So let's say nobody's coming to your country. Who is going to work? The other day I just, I think I shared this already. I read that there are some black people coming from Africa who are being put in the front lines in Russia to fight the Ukraine war. Why? Because the population is getting down. This war has gone over 3 years now, and people are losing their lives, and so that country need manpower. We are never going to get everything in this life. You might want to be married, but you never found somebody that to fall in love with. You could have wanted children. You never had children. But if you love children, you could adopt your children so that you have a family. This idea of somebody saying, I have my money, no. Money will never comfort you your old age. You need a human being to laugh with. You need somebody to talk to. Let me tell you, when I was living in the United States, I worked in a place whereby these people were already retired, but they were going to work. So I used to work there every Sunday. Those people who were senior people who are living in that condominium, the people who had families lived long. There is a woman who was even 100 years, here, 90 something. They lived long because every Sunday the family will come, the son and the daughters and the grandchildren, they go out and then come back. They are very happy. Those who had nobody to visit them, they died very fast. So you can do your own research. Yes, you could be frustrated by bad love affairs, people who never treated you right, you see your friends have never been treated right and all that, but that is not all about relationships. You just happen to meet bad people or people who don't understand the meaning of love. So you should be looking for love, and when you love, you take care of people. So when God created us in families, it meant that when you come from your parents' home, you are going to another family now to form your own family. And that's why God said, a man should live and cleave to his wife. Live and cleave. When God says a man, it means man and woman. Because the word man in the Bible means male and female. That's what the Bible says in Genesis chapter 5. Male and female means man. So there are feminists who have come, the Bible only talks about male, male, male. No. Because the way God created a man and a woman, that is one unit. And that unity can create another human being. It's so deep that if you're shallow in your mind, you will never understand God's plan. So marriages should be able to protect families. Your children belong somewhere. But you can't tell me you're having children and their father is somewhere because somebody divorced and you saw the same. You cannot plan a life of singlehood or a life whereby the children don't have a father. Very few people plan that. It can happen, yes. Divorce can happen. You could have a baby with somebody and they are not there. It's not your fault. But to say now you don't even want children, that could be your opinion, but you should not preach that as a gospel that everybody should accept. I had one woman talk about her abortions. She talks about her boyfriends, disappointments with boyfriends, and now that when she became sick, and now she looked back, attempted suicide and all that. The truth is, when we love ourselves, we are capable of loving other people. So the people who might not have loved you, the problem isn't you or the marriage. The problem is with themselves. If somebody cheated on you, the problem is them. It's not the marriage. It's not the relationship. So when you're concluding that you will never love, I don't know how somebody can live without love. It's a lie. You need friends. You are a social human being. You need where you are appreciated. You need to do things with the other people. And those other people cannot be there more than your husband or your wife. And you see, this frustration, I see it so much with women more than men. I saw this woman who said that I'm not going to be married, I'm not going to cook for anybody. We don't understand the idea of love. The truth is, when you're cooking for somebody, if you want to love them through cooking, that is you loving them. It's not a duty. When you are cleaning the house, you are not cleaning the house because you are a servant. You are cleaning the house because you want the person you love to live in a nice home, and they need to do the same for you. When you as a man is working hard to bring money home so that you can pay bills, you want your family to live in a nice home, which means you're loving them that way. It's not like you're being punished. Because what about if you have all the money, you buy all what you want, but you're alone? This is why this idea that people peddling that marriage doesn't work, they admire people who live with each other. You don't know their circumstances. And even when we live in marriage, there are dynamics. Women, we are emotional. Men are rational. So when as a man you're living with a woman, know that emotions, sometimes we think with our emotions. Your wife is going to think with their emotions because even their monthly period affects their emotions. So understanding the nature of the opposite sex is very, very important. Women are compassionate. If I see somebody, in the street, like one time I was walking and this boy is begging me for money, that was in Kenya, I feel like, giving them. Not my husband is selfish, but he wants planned giving. But for me, emotionally, I wanted to give that kid something. So my husband is saying, come, we go. But I had to give him something. That's how women we feel. We are compassionate. Men are passionate, not compassionate. And I'm not saying they are not capable of, but their nature is like that. Men are daring. Look at the things that men are doing. So you cannot feminize your husband. He's a male. He's going to do dangerous things like, having a motorbike and going to war and doing those risky things. Even when the boys are growing up, boys do risky things. That's their nature. So we cannot feminize them and tell the boy, you never jump here, never do this. You cannot do that. When we understand how nature works, we are not trying to control the other person. You're not trying to make the other person be a woman or be a man. We accept that women are different from men. And so we see how we accommodate each other. For example, not very many men will think about domestic things like clean the house, cook, and do laundry. Those are feminine things. And when I say these things, people think, oh, you're old-fashioned. No, your husband can do those things, but they're not going to think about them. They are going to do them as duty. But for you as a woman, you do them as a passion. Because I like my house to look a certain way. I like my laundry to be done on time. I want to be cooking some meals, but that's a duty. But you tell your husband to do things like, build a house. They will be really doing it very nicely. Fix a TV or fix a chair. So we need to understand each other's nature. You don't expect the woman to be lying down there and fixing the car. How many women have you seen fixing? There are very few. When we understand these things, that when you get married, it's different when you're dating each other and you're going to your house. It's so different because now you're in each other's space. You find that the person is going to the toilet and they are leaving the toilet seat up because the men have to use it while it is up. So this man has to learn that now there's a woman in the house. So I'm going to put the seat down. The man has to learn that, you know what, once my wife has vacuumed the carpet, I can't just walk on it with shoes. When you're married, you know that you're not going to spend the time talking to your friends on the phone for a long time, giving other people your time. So people need to learn how to be married. We need to learn instead of running away from the responsibility of being married. So we want sex. Devoid or married, it's not going to happen. Trust me, it has never happened in any society where people no longer get married. Yeah, you read Sodom and Gomorrah. I think everybody was gay there. So I don't know how it ended up. You know how it ended up. You read the story. The children of Lot who came from Sodom and Gomorrah, whereby sexual immorality was the order of the day, they came out of that city not knowing that sleeping with their dad was sin. They did that to their dad. You read the Bible. The Bible is not hiding these things. When you're influenced by the society that is corrupt, eventually you destroy yourself. Even when the angels of the Lord came to that city to rescue it, the people who are practicing sodomy wanted to sodomize angels of God. So we are not here to condemn what God put together. Condemn the bad things people do to each other in marriage. There is battery of women, the unfairness in marriages. Those are the things you need to tackle. So before you get married or before you enter into a legal relationship with somebody, talk about the issues that you see around you and put on the plans on how you guys are going to overcome this. And I keep on saying this. People make cars all the time. We have Mercedes, we have Toyota, we have Kia, we have Volvo. All these cars, they're made. Sometimes, like the other day in America here, they recalled Toyota Lexus. They are newly built with some kind of mechanical issues. They are going to fix that so that the car can run well. We are not saying we are never going to board cars because cars cause accidents. I keep on giving that example. You fix the problem. You cannot say, I'm not going to live in this house because the house can burn down. And now, are you going to live outside? Okay, is that possible? So you fix the thing. That's why we have, like fire extinguishers in the house. We have alarms. If there is fire, there is alarm that alerts you that there is a fire, there is a smoke in the house. We have even carbon monoxide detectors. People put mechanism to make sure that thing works. Societies can put rules and guidelines that can make relationships work within themselves. For example, where I live, if I want to fence my house, I have to leave 6 meters between me and my neighbor. Why? Because there has to be a passage. I can't fence all the way and use their fence as my fence. I cannot. Those are the town rules. The town rules in my town, I can never extend a house. If I want to extend, I need, city planner, and I pay for it. And I need an architect. You need permission to do anything. So when people break all these laws and now they want to live with each other, it's not going to work. So whether you want to be single and they say you don't want children, it's still not going to work for you. Whatever God has put together, it's going to work like that. If we follow the principles of God, which is love, love is going to work. You tell me people who have lived with each other for 10, 20 years and they are happily married, if there is no love, they have applied the principles of love. So where do we know those principles of love? We get it from the Bible. Which verse? Galatians chapter 5, verse 19 to 22. Tell you the things that if you do, you are destroying yourself and other people, and also tells you the things if you do, you are going to be peaceful. The Bible says love is kind. Love is peaceful. Love is joy. Love is long-suffering. Love has temperance, so you don't overdo things. So if you have all these qualities living with each other, then you're going to be happy. But to come here and keep on attacking marriage, that marriage is outdated, we don't need marriage, and where do you want to put children? Children with no marriage, whereby people are all over. That's chaos. So we need to know the dynamics of challenges that we are facing. It is true that we are living in the modern world. Our challenges are very different from people who lived 40 years ago. It's true. Or people who lived 100 years ago. Or people who lived in a local place like in the village. That's different. People are now, I now see a lot of young people want to live in the village. Yeah, if you can afford it, it's easier to live in the village. You don't have to deal with so much. But not everybody can afford to live in the village, because some people, you cannot work from home, you need a job and go to the office. Marriage is not bad. People are. All over the world. Even if you live with that boyfriend, you still needed to be treated well. So you think that because you broke up from that girlfriend, boyfriend, they never married you, you are peaceful here. No, you're still hurt. You miss them. You miss them. And this is why, and I'm talking to the ladies, if you really feel like you want to be loved, make a relationship be something that you can fight for. But if you feel like, oh, I can live with this boyfriend and tomorrow I just leave and I go to another one, well, it doesn't work like that. When you love someone and you break up from them, it hurts. It takes a while for you actually to heal. So relationships are divine. They are not man-made. And as long as we want just to follow, physical attraction and don't look at the other things in marriage, this is where we are going to come with our own ideas and feel like, oh, I don't want to get married. I want just to have child-free. Or some people come and they say, I don't want my husband's name. I don't want to be called Mrs. So and so. Well, there are people who have a reason. But under normal circumstances, no. Don't try to change the rules, You carrying your husband's name, it doesn't mean that you are beneath him or you are not independent. It doesn't mean anything. But there are people who want to keep their family names for business purposes, for political purposes. Because when you come from the so and so, the Obamas and all that, then that will give you weight. But I see some people using two names. But that is something that you should talk with your spouse before you get married, if it is okay with them. Those are not things you bring afterwards. If you don't want children, tell your spouse, I don't want children. I want to be like that, so that they can make that decision. Actually, when you're dating, before even you fall in love with each other at that particular time, let them know, I don't want children. I don't want marriage. So that a wise man, you're not going there thinking you're going to change that woman's life. No. If the man say, I don't want children, I don't want marriage, he wants somebody to play with. Let him get the people who are players. So to be honest, marriage isn't bad. People mistreat each other in marriage. It is unfortunate. But not everybody who is married is miserable. I'm one of them. I've never been miserable. And I'm not saying I'm lucky. No. I am saying God put me here. And it is not like I'm just lucky. We've worked on this marriage. Between me and my husband, we still work on it. It's not over. We are still working on that. So don't somebody say that they are just automatically good marriages. No, people have to work on their relationship. It takes work. It takes discipline. It takes forgiveness. It takes sacrifice. There is nothing that's going to happen in your marriage without you sacrificing something. It takes you understanding the nature of a woman, the nature of a man, understanding the world, how the world works, how there are problems, and how you tackle those problems without destroying each other.